Hey everyone, it's Bramblestar1227. So as you may or may not know, the new Pokemon games, Pokemon X and Pokemon Y, have been announced today. If you don't know anything about that, just go to the official website, Pokemon.com. A little video will pop up, and that's all really the information that is known right now. So after you watch that, then this video will make more sense. If you decide not to watch this video, it's not going to make any sense. So, this is my thing. So, I'm not saying X and Y are bad games, because, we hardly know anything about them. We have, like, one 2-minute trailer, and that's it. We don't have anything else to go off of. But, I have some problems with X and Y games, because, first of all, they're releasing them way too quickly. So, yes, this is my little rant about Pokemon X and Y. So, they're releasing them way too quickly. So, first of all, Diamond and Pearl came out, like, April 22nd, 2007. Then, Pokemon Black and White, the 5th generation, came out on March 6, 2011. So that's about 4 years. So even if we look before that, Ruby and Sapphire came out in 2003. And then before that, we had the older generations where they were released really close together, where Gold and Silver were 2000, and then Gold and Silver were, 2000. And then Ruby and Sapphire were, so there was a 3-year gap, then a 4-year gap. And then if you go, so there was Generation 1 was 1998. So there was a 2-year gap, a 3-year gap. Then we had the gap between Ruby, Sapphire, and we had the gap between Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald to Diamond and Pearl, which was about, another 4 years. And then we had a 4-year gap till Black and White. So now we have this little 2.5-year gap because the X and Y is coming out in October 2013. So that's just way too fast. And this is mainly the reason, my second part, that makes me really mad. You missed the Ruby and Sapphire remakes. That is what everyone wanted. Or at least most people wanted those Ruby and Sapphire remakes. You have a pattern that you broke with Black and White 2 by not making Gray version, and you decided to make it worse by not putting the remake right after that like you're supposed to. That's what I firmly believed when I heard there was going to be an announcement for January 8th. That it would be Ruby and Sapphire remakes, not the next generation that we don't need right now, because we're just barely getting out of Generation 5 with Black and White 2 last October. That was like, 3 months ago? Not even quite yet. So 3 months ago, you're kinda, throwing the next generation at us really fast. If you would have given us time with this Ruby and Sapphire remake, Ruby and Sapphire were the best games for me, because I just really liked them. It was before Pokemon started running out of ideas. Clearly Diamond and Pearl. Diamond and Pearl was pretty good, but there was only 100 Pokemon, 107 Pokemon, and 20 of those were just evolutions of previous Pokemon, which I'm not complaining about. Those are some of the best ones of that generation, but you're obviously starting to run out of ideas when you're making these more fish Pokemon, like that Finneon and that stuff like that. We didn't need, if you really had ideas, you wouldn't be making those. So, okay, that's fine. Don't make a Ruby and Sapphire remake. Maybe it'll come after Generation 6, even though that would make no sense whatsoever. Maybe they just wanted to kind of make this X and Y as kind of showing you what the 3DS can do with Pokemon. The trailer actually has some pretty impressive graphical stuff, but there's even problems in that. The trainer character looks horrible. That's just, it doesn't look normal, like a normal person should look. It doesn't look anything like a sprite from the old games looks like either. It just looks like, it just is really bad, and I just really don't like that. And then we come to the starters. So there's 3 starters. There's a fox. If you watch the trailer, I don't have any pictures, so if you watch the trailer, you'll know. There's a fox called Fennekin. There's the frog called Froakie, and there's the, I don't even know what it is. It's called Chesapin. It's the grass type. So starting with what's it called? Fennekin. It's the fire type. It's Vulpix. You really didn't need to make another one of those. We have Vulpix, we have Ninetales. Fennekin looks very, very similar to Ninetales. And I don't know Fennekin's evolutions, no one does but the creators. So maybe that'll change my mind about Fennekin. But Fennekin, by far, for me, is the worst. I know there's a lot of people who pick Fennekin. In fact, I already know of 2 people. My sister's gonna get Fennekin, and my friend is going to probably pick Fennekin. So, Fennekin is good for some people, but Fennekin is just a Vulpix clone, and that's probably why they made it. Then there's Froakie. It looks like a rejected Poliwag. The thing looks messed up, and maybe, again, it's just a rejected Poliwag and a rejected Tympole. See, my friend and me think X and Y are really just a lot of rejected stuff from Generation 5. So first we have the rejected Tympole. And then, of course, there's Chesapin. He's a grass type. He doesn't look like anything before, but he looks very, very similar to Oshawott, which I have had several people say to me today. He looks a lot like Oshawott. He does look a lot like Oshawott. I mean, they look very similar. I mean, they really just should have picked something different. I mean, yeah, you can kind of tell what all the starters are. Bulbasaur was like a dinosaur. Chikorita was some, like, leaf thing. Trico was a tree gecko. Turtwig was a turtle. And Snivy was a snake. Now we have some unknown creature. Maybe they'll explain more to us what that is. But then the biggest problem I have with these games is the legendaries. Okay, first of all, they don't have names. But the legendary from Pokemon X, which is that deer. Okay, first of all, why would you make a legendary deer? It looks like a rejected Virizion with antlers. I mean, the antlers are just like really stupid looking. And it looks just like a dark blue Virizion. And that's just like really sad that they really couldn't come up with a better idea than that. But okay, that's fine. I accept that that's what Pokemon X is going to look like. But the worst part is Pokemon Y. It's this really big bird that can go into the shape of Y. Looks like, its face looks like Kyurem, and the rest of its body looks like a Lugia. So I mean, and the type, we don't know the types on these Pokemon either. So maybe there's a chance that they could have a unique type combination that will actually make them worth training. I mean, still, I think X is going to be better than Y. I don't know anything about either of them, but just by looks, even though X looks like a rejected Virizion, Virizion's a cool Pokemon, so you know, okay, fine. X is cool. Y is just like, yeah, no, I don't think that that's a very good Pokemon. So, and the next problem, why did we not do a Wii U game? So, I mean, we really want a Pokemon Wii U game, and that's what they were kind of saying there. Ken Sujimori said, I hope we can make Black and White 2 for Wii U. Or he made some comment like that, like, I wish we could see Black and White 2 on Wii U. So, I mean, maybe that's fine. I know the Wii U just came out, and X and Y have been in development for a long time. But I really want another game like XD. Or another game like Coliseum. Those open world games. And then, you know, there was also that section in Coliseum and XD that was like Pokemon Battle Revolution. I really wanted a Battle Revolution for Generation 5. And my Pokemon Ranch, nobody seems to appreciate that game for Generation 4. Mainly because it doesn't have Platinum support. Or Heart Gold and Soul Silver support. But that game was pretty good. So I mean, maybe if we see a Gen 6 release of my Pokemon Ranch or Pokemon Battle Revolution or XD or Gale of Darkness or a Coliseum, then okay, Wii U's done. And maybe that's exactly what they're planning on doing, because you know, the odds of getting an actual game on the Wii U are pretty slim right now, because I mean, the console just came out and it might take a while. But then I come to a bigger problem. So, if you're making X and Y, the names. First of all, okay, so we started with red and blue. Those were colors. Then yellow, that's a color. Gold, silver, it's a color, but it's also a precious metal. Crystal, gemstone, and color, I guess. Ruby, sapphire, and emerald, yeah, we've shifted into gemstones. Diamond, pearl, platinum, gemstones, precious metals. And then black and white. When that game came out, I was just kind of like, wow, really? You couldn't come up with a better name than Black and White. I mean, there could have been better names for that. Black and White, okay, fine. That name kind of, I accepted it. Okay, so Black and White, that's fine. But then, they broke the pattern by making Black and White 2, which Black and White 2 are actually pretty good. I regard them as the second best Pokemon games after Emerald. They have a lot of legendaries, and that was pretty cool. That game was pretty cool to play through. I did not like the first Black and White games. They were my least favorite games out of all of them. So, okay, Black and White 2, that's fine. But now you come to these, Pokemon X and Pokemon Y. Now, if you'll notice, in every Pokemon main series game, they're called Pokemon Red version, Pokemon Blue version, Pokemon Black version. There's no word version. So, I mean, it's not Pokemon X version, Pokemon Y version, it's just Pokemon X and Y. So, I mean, maybe XY will bring us something in the future, but I just don't see it yet. I mean, it's not like I'm not going to buy these games. I buy all the Pokemon games. I'll buy both of them, but I just don't know. So, this has been my little rant, and I hopefully don't have to have another one of these.